protracted speech Tuesday at a regular Board of Commissioners meeting by Sheriff Zanni regarding due process and public rights elicited a revealing response from the commissioners that exposed the board's own hypocrisy on these very matters. Zanni was concerned that the U.S. Forest Service has violated National Environmental Policy Act, saying the agency had not first obtained public input from state, local, and tribal governments regarding a move begun in 2006 to comply with the federal travel management rules specific to motorized vehicle use on the Rogue River-Siskiyou National Forest Supplement.
Patrick Henry, and the fact that the Constitution is an instrument for the government, not for the government to restrain the people, it's an instrument for the people to restrain government that come to dominate our lives and interests. On October 12th, I received in the mail, didn't get it until the 13th, this document from the United States Forest Service. It's a draft supplemental environmental impact statement, motorized vehicle use on the Rogue River and Siskiyou National Forest. Because it had been adopted some 2 weeks earlier and sent out, basically said you have 45 days to review it. I was already inside basically at 30 days to review this and make my comments. As you can tell, it's one of those things you just sit down, a little light reading, and you're done. Long story short, along with the letter, it says if you review this, have any questions, please feel free to call Fred Wall, National Resource and Planning Staff's office for David Krantz and give a phone number. Well, I called the number because I had questions immediately, and neither one of them are at their office for that number. So I was given their numbers, so I called their numbers, and I got voicemails and last messages I want to talk to them. That was on the 13th of October, and I have heard nothing back from them. And reviewing this, basically this is a plan to start closing roads on Forest Service property. Now, the first concern I have is they start wanting to close roads, and I'm not even sure why. The other part that really bothers me is because this is being done under the National Environmental Protection Act. They, in my opinion, according to the National Environmental Protection Act and the laws thereof, are in violation of their own act. They're not following the rules that were adopted by that. And I'll just give you an example. Here's an abstract. It's on the first page of this book. It says, highlights of the travel management rule. Each national forest or ranger district will designate those roads, trails, areas open to motorized vehicles. Designation will include class of vehicle and, if appropriate, season of use for motor vehicle. Once the designation process is complete, the rule will prohibit motor vehicle use off the designated system or use that is inconsistent with the designation, and the decisions are to be made locally with public input and in coordination with state, local, and tribal governments.
Wait a minute, they didn't coordinate with us.
Well, that's the whole concern that I have. Nobody came and asked me, as an elected official responsible for law enforcement in portions of the Siskiyou National and Rogue River forests, whether I had input. Nobody talked.
Zanni's contention that the public have been excluded from the process may not be correct, since it appears the U.S. Forest Service was at least as diligent about filing required public notices as Coos County is. But his argument in favor of proper due process is spot on and identifies the objections many people have to efforts to transfer management of the Coos Bay Wagon Road lands to the Coquille Tribe without public input.
And nobody's asking for any input or even letting us know. They just simply sent us a pick which one you like best. And I will tell you, in my personal opinion, if they're losing certified letters from boards of commissioners or supervisors and ignoring calls from sheriffs and other things, they really don't care what my input is on this. They're simply going to go, okay, well, you had your time to comment, and so now we're going to go with the plan that we wanted all along.
Ironically, this is precisely the same thing the Commission is trying to pull off with the Coos Bay Wagon Road lands, wherein management will simply be transferred from the BLM to the tribe, and the only choices the public may have is timber plan A, B, or C. Now that the tides are turned against the commissioners, they cry foul, and Maine, who is practically a serial violator of public process, hypocritically uses his pulpit to champion public
way behind.
development.
I mean, we haven't realized what's being done to us, and we had an opportunity, or we had a mechanism by which we could be part of the process to maybe forestall or stop changes being done to us on the ground.